Hello! Hello, are we live? I think we're live. I hope we're working. I think it's working. Oh, just check. I always have to check with these things.
I hope we're not live. Please send help. He has me chained in his basement.
Don't say that, Momo. I would never chain you. I'll use rope. Rope is a better
I hope we're
substance
not
for
live.
tightening.
Please send help. He has me chained in his basement.
My thing looks
Don't
terrible.
say that, Momo. I would never chain you. I'll use rope. Rope is a better
I hope we're
substance
not
for
live.
tightening.
Please send help. He has me chained in his basement.
My thing looks
Don't
terrible.
say that, Momo. I would never chain you. I'll use. Oh, so I was thinking, why can I hear doubling? And I'm like, eh. I'm so silly, but hello everyone. I'm going to be making the tweet, so don't you worry. But how is everyone doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I just got finished helping my mom out in the backyard. I got bit up by a couple of mosquitoes, but it was worth it.
I'm doing well. Still working on a couple of films of mine. Trying to get back to work, honestly. So I'm doing pretty well.
So today I'm your host Patrick Roby, and you can clearly hear Momo, Starry Melody, the director, and he's a bit quiet at the moment, but he'll be coming back in a second. Blue Prism, and we're today talking about pony life. Now, let's get this started with an interesting question. What even is pony life? Pony life is a G4.5. Well, what the fandom's going to call G4.5. Some people are going to call it G4 point whatever. Some people are going to call it a failure. Some people are going to call it success. But it's interesting to see how this can compare to Generation 4, or if it doesn't even compare at all. And I think I've got my opinions, and I think these guys, lovely guys and girls, and everyone here has got their own opinions. But let's ask both of you, what were your initial thoughts before going in?
Honestly, I knew I was going to like it. Because it's very cute. It's a chibi. You can't go wrong with it.
And what about you, director?
I thought this was going to be Teen Titans Go. People say it was going to be Teen Titans Go, but in the beginning I'm like, why do I have the feeling this show is going to be better than Teen Titans Go? And I just predicted it totally was.
I was a bit worried about the Teen Titans Go sortiveness, but I was also worried about the... which something I'm going to go into detail a bit later on is how Hasbro has handled pony life. But I'll go into more detail in that in a bit later. But let's first talk about the first episode that was ever pony life episode, which is Princess Problems. Does anyone want to have a little explanation of what actually happens, or should we just...
It's so sickeningly cute. I feel sick.
Luckily, I had the episode on my laptop, and I'm trying to guess what the story. I'm trying to get the story together, but the story is basically about Pinkie Pie entering this contest with Princess Celestia judging, and she's not worried, but her friends, especially Twilight, are so worried that they actually keep putting pressure on her.
Yeah.
So the point is, Pinkie Pie out with the baking contest.
The thing is, it kind of reminds me of like the season 1 and season 2 style kind of stories where it's most likely more of a single character storyline, but it is still Twilight's story and the characters are learning a lesson, where in the later seasons it's kind of more story focused, and there's a lesson sometimes tacked on, but it's very rare. But it's more about the story than the lesson, where here it feels more old school, it feels more early season 4, early generation 4, where it's more about the lesson learning than anything else, which is totally fine. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
And what do you think about the characterization so far at the moment?
Oh my god, I absolutely love it. They're freaking cute. I mean, you can't go wrong with chibi ponies.
I agree with that, and I do like the style actually. I think I've softened to the style because it's got this it's simple, but it's effective. It's clean, but it's able to allow them to get hurt in a certain way. I can understand why people don't like it, though. I can understand why.
I can totally agree with that. Also, while it's good, it's insane.
What do you mean?
The animation is just insane.
What do you mean by it? Can you explain for me?
Like insane. It's like they're going through the Teen Titans Go, a Lily bouncing around, and it's like going too fast. I'm like, okay, stop! I need a minute here.
See, I don't.
It's just too fast.
See, I think Teen Titans Go is bad, but I don't think the style is what makes it bad. I think it's more the context and the things within the show, not the style.
I could see what you mean by that.
Because the style itself. Oh, hi there, Commander Dragon. Yeah, I could see that as well. Yeah, but I'll go back to Commander's comment. I like to think of ponylife as G4 in an alternative universe. At least I want to think so. I could sort of see that. But back to the animation style. It's fine. It's basically steady. It's not trying to be the next best thing. It's just very safe. It's a very safe style animation. It's not really outgoing. You don't want if every cartoon starts trying to do this animation, then we've got issues, and then we should start making a big thing. Here, it sort of works. It's as long as Ponylife doesn't get more than one season and exists as long as it needs to, which is, I think, one season of Ponylife is fine. I think even its fans will understand one season will do exactly what it needs. It's dragging this show out, Ponylife, for too long would not be worth it. Plus, with G5 coming, we don't want to detract from that. Would you guys agree with that?
That's very good.
You got a point.
But let's talk about the first episode, Princess Problems, and well, we were trying to talk about that. We also went into the animation, but I think it's necessary to talk about that when we're talking about this episode because there are some good things in it. Do you want to start off, Starry, with what you like about Princess Problems?
Let me see. I absolutely like how silly it is. Pinkie Pie is doing all this craziness just to get into this juggernaut. I think he's called the juggernaut baking something or other.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I just said yes. Carry on.
Oh, sorry about that. And then here it is. Here's Twilight, thinking that she's not going to actually make it because she's very messy, and she's doing all of this mess, all of this nonsense, saying, "Hey, Pinkie Pie, you have to clean up after you finish cooking," which is understandable because she's, how do I put it, OCD.
No,
Yes.
I get that. Like, I think the characterization within the story itself is fine. I think Pinkie Pie is well characterized. I think Twilight is not too badly characterized. But I don't think anyone's really out of character per se. What do you think, about the characterization in the episodes itself, director of Princess Problems?
Honestly, I think they kind of look like the same, but with a pinch of silliness. Except for Pinkie Pie, because that's pretty much her in a nutshell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just the same, but with a pinch of silliness into it. So the characters is wildly okay.
Yeah,
I can roll with the insane. It's a little weird and warped, but I can handle it. I am okay with this.
Yeah, I feel like someone was telling me the other day that they felt like the characters are a watered down versions of themselves, and I can get that. I can completely understand what they mean by that. Like, Fluttershy is still timid, but she's not as timid. She's just timid in enough of her style that makes you think, oh, that's clearly Fluttershy. And one of the things I was thinking is, if you took away the characters' names, does this still work? If you took away the fact we know about Generation 4 away from this show, would this still work? And I don't have an answer to that at the moment. Weirdly, I don't have a yes or no, because I know about these characterizations because I've grown up with these characters and I love these characters because of Generation 4. But now this Pony Live is a Generation 4.5. But if it wants to be its own show, I have to take these characters as completely new. And pretending these characters aren't the same characters, even though they've got the same names and they've got the same voices. And if that bleeping keeps going on, I'm going to go insane. I hope it's not me. I keep hearing a bleep. Is that just me?
It might be me. It's actually raining where I am right.
No, it's Matt Pat going insane. Shh. Let's roll.
But what do you think about that? Do you think if you took away the fact if you took away the characters' names and renamed them, would you still think the same about them? Would you still like these characters?
Yeah, I'll still love them.
I believe
I would
still
definitely
love
still
them.
I mean, if you go by a outsider's view, aka a newer person watching this, they may not even know who these characters are, so they wouldn't really know anything. So they may like them and they may not like them. It really depends on each person, doesn't it?
True. I'm trying to look at this as in both views. I trying to look at it from someone who's coming from the Brony fandom like myself, but I'm also trying to look at it from someone who's never seen MLP at all. And I struggle to think how they're going to view this, because how do you watch this show without that knowledge is the question. I keep asking myself, like, Pinkie Pie is not is seminally well characterized, and so is Twilight, but I don't think anything's that well explained. I keep getting people asking me, what's the things about the potions? I'm like, I don't actually know. What's the thing about them being, what's them to do with all this stuff in this? Like, there's so many questions people keep asking me about this show, and I'm like, the show doesn't even have an answer itself. Like, I don't have a clue what the potions have, or what the limit of those potions are, or who even makes them. Like, if you're gonna have stuff, at least set some rules. I don't mind.
That's boring. You know, if there's just something left open, that gives people time to imaginate, to use their imagination to be like, whoa, what else could those contain? Like, how many more things? It enables someone to use their imagination.
True.
And that's like the best thing ever.
True, but I wouldn't mind a bit more setup to them, like something that goes, oh, this is a thing we have. Like, they just seem to come out of nowhere. Like, Fluttershy's ability to change size seems to come out of nowhere. Like, I don't mind things being random for the sake of randomness, but it should make some sense within the universe you've made. It just seems like everything's just there for the sake of it being there, which can work if it's entertaining.
To which it is.
Do you two agree with that? Do you think this show's entertaining enough that it can warrant the not so jaded views of myself and others?
Yeah,
No argument there.
I totally agree.
Because I do like this episode. Someone saying that they wouldn't be surprised if Sakura made the potion. I don't even think Sakura's in Pony Life. I don't think I've seen anything with Sakura in it. I think they're just Pinkie Pie might make, and I have no clue. But
I'm pretty sure it's Pinkie.
Yeah, I do like the first episode. My issue is there is this one scene where they're trying to eat their way out of the thing Pinkie Pie made, and it just it drags on for too long. It's not funny in itself. It just seems just to be a bit. It just seems not pony. It just feels a bit anti the show itself. Like there's actually a few jokes that actually make me laugh in this, and that's surprising. I did not expect to laugh at Pony Life. Like, the first episode is pretty good in the sense it has a few jokes that make me laugh, but the scene where they're trying to eat their way out kind of feels like, oh, this is trying to be Teen Titans, this is trying to be this or this. I can point to, oh, this is trying to be this, or it just doesn't feel like it's trying to be its own thing, it's just trying to be another thing. It's trying to be the next Teen Titans Go, if that makes sense. It's trying to be too gaudy, which doesn't really work with Pony unless you want to set that up. But I just don't think that I would want to show where characters eat out of cake. It just seemed, and the way they did it just felt a bit tacked on and just dragged on far too long.
True. Well, I do happen to have a couple of favorite parts in the first episode.
Oh, carry on.
Well, for starters, it was the part when Applejack was actually breaking the fourth wall.
Oh, I do like that scene. I will admit that made me giggle a little.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Especially when Rarity got that little piece of ice cream in her hair, and she was over here crying, bawling her eyes out, and not Rarity. Applejack walks up to Rarity and tells her to settle down, and then she points her face to the audience and said, "You missed this? I missed it."
Yeah, there's a few jokes like that. Like the one thing I do actually like about the potions is they serve the plot. They serve like each character gives like a version of what this competition is, and that's quite a creative way of using the potions whilst also serving for comedic purpose and for plot purpose. It's really well set up.
Yeah.
And I also yeah, you carry on.
Oh, I was just saying that there's another scene that I absolutely like, and I managed to take a screenshot.
Ooh.
I
will put it on.
Let me see that.
If you send it to me, I'll put it on the screen as soon as possible. But
okay, give me a second.
You do that whilst I talk about the potions. The one thing I do actually quite like about the potions is they're going to be the way they're doing them seems to be very unique or weird. It just seems to be like spur of the moment kind of thing, and I kind of like that in a sense. I kind of like the idea this show's a bit like spur of the moment kind of going with whatever it thinks. And yes, I know that it is explain what I'm looking at, guys. It is basically yeah, that is a very silly clip, and I do like it.
And and I screenshot it perfectly. That if you share it to anybody, they can make it also make so many memes out of it. And I've already seen a few.
I've already seen a few. But yeah,
where's the screenshot?
I'm putting it on. Don't you worry. I'm putting it.
Romeo, I need you to come over here, Romeo. Come on. Sorry, my cat is trying to walk all over my tablet. So I got him now, so he's good. Oh, never mind. He done escaped from me.
I'm back.
Hello,
Hey,
Blue. What's your opinions on the premiere so far? The first episode.
Okay, the first episode, really good. The one thing I'm mainly confused on is how the heck did Pinky get all those potions?
We were just talking about that.
I guess we'll never know until they actually show it fully.
Oops, did you learn anything from MLP?
There are some things that require backstory.
True.
Oh,
for example, why Tierra
don't question it.
But yeah,
we've been over that.
Yeah, especially this show. I don't think questioning this show is kind of the best thing to do. Also, have Twycat.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I was thinking about that too. It was either Cat Twy or Twycat or Cat Like Sparkle.
Cat Like Sparkle. Anyway, Blue, what were you saying?
Oh, I got food in my mouth.
Oh.
Also, I'm trying to figure out what animation program are they using?
Flash, clearly. This is clearly Flash.
Actually,
I don't think that it's anything else. It's too simple to be Boulder. It's not got any. It's gotta be Flash. Has to be.
even though Adobe is going out of business.
You say that, but people still will use it. Flash is still a useful tool. You can still use tools even if the business goes out of business. Though, I still think Flash is going to still exist even when Adobe goes bankrupt. Enough people are
It's using a new animation style.
Yeah, but I see
utilizing the studio Allspark, which, with the thing that I've noticed that they've been using is they may actually be utilizing now with Toon Boom.
Aren't they using Toon?
Because
it's not. Oh wait, it's Boulder who's making the film, isn't it?
Let me look.
I think it's Boulder, and they're using Toon Boom.
Boulder Media.
Yeah, because they're using a similar.
I hope you're listening to that.
No, because I don't think the film's going to look anything like this. I think the film's going to look more like Rainbow Road Trip.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what the film's going to look more like. So.
Well, Flash the movie.
Yeah, the movie's like, yeah. My Little Pony: The Search for Spike, and if you get that reference, I love you. Poor Spike, though. Poor Spike. Press F for Spike if you get that reference.
Pressing F.
But no, I do like the premiere. I think it's a solid enough premiere. I do like how Rarity's has the ability to spawn a couch. I don't know why she has the ability to spawn a couch, but she does.
Why not?
Oh yeah, that's the third favorite part of the first episode. Every single time she sees something that she doesn't like, she proofs up as faking.
Mm-hmm.
She did
now just I missed this. Did you miss this?
Yeah, that is a good scene as well. The director, do you have any other favourite scenes you'd like to talk about?
Favorite scenes? I'm watching the episode right now, but I do. Well, like I said, where's that one scene I'm trying to find?
Oh, actually, I'll ask you I'll ask everyone a question. What do you think the purpose of them splitting it into two parts is? Because I don't get that. I do like the title cards they've made for each part, but other than that, I just don't see them serving that much of a purpose. Like, you can't really watch one part without the other, because technically Princess Problems is Princess Problems Part 1 and Princess Problems Part 2, but because they've been aired together and they've just been treated as one thing, they're just treated as one episode for us. But in reality, they are two episodes been put together. So I don't know what... I have a few theories of why they've done that. But did you spot... Does anyone have any ideas why they've done that? And did that change or affect anyone that much?
It actually hasn't changed my opinion. It kind of reminds me of the 10-minute shows like Steven Universe, I think. There's another one I think of. There's Steven Universe, Titanfall. There's one more. I just can't think of it right now.
It's kind of like filler between an actual proper episode of what they're airing in a way. It's I forgot what they're called.
I know what you're on about.
It's an advert. It's an advert, but it's not an advert in a way.
I know what you're on about, Momo, because but Boomerang does this where they have like it's called a minisode.
Mm-hmm.
Minisodes where you put like between episodes, between the adverts, they put minisodes where they're not like advertised shows, but they're like shorts that are short enough to quickly get like they're mostly quiet and mostly weird, like very experimental things. Like I've seen a few of them and like they're very odd, but like most of them. But this doesn't feel like that because one, it's too plot focused, which most of the things I think of for a minisode don't really have a plot or don't even have speaking, don't even have voicing most of the time. They're very more lower. They're like more amateurish kind of things. They're more very experimental, more indie style, if that makes sense. And secondly, that would mean they would have to chop the two parts separately, which I know some shorts do that, and it doesn't really work in my opinion. And it would work not at all. it would not work at all with this because you can't really watch one part without the other, unless they're going to show one part before at what one point of the actual thing you're watching, and then the second part at the end or somewhere through. It just seems a bit odd. Like, I've seen enough minisodes, but I think that the actual reason is quite a simple one. I think it's because they need you in the USA. You have to have a certain amount of episodes to classify yourself as a TV show. So I'm probably thinking they've probably not made enough episodes, so they've probably halved their episodes and then doubled it up to make sure they get over that barrier so they can actually air it on TV. Because I bet you the original plan was to air it on YouTube. Is everyone still alive?
Still here, don't worry.
Sorry.
I'm alive.
I'm very good at boring people to death with things that most people won't give a damn about. But is everyone said everything they want to say about Princess Problems? Because I feel like both of these talks aren't going to be too long. Because I don't think many people have got a lot of things to say on each episode. But they're going to be enough to keep us going for a bit.
Well, there is one more thing I do want to say about.
Yeah.
Celestia, you are just as big a troll as ever.
Yep.
Yes, yes, she is.
I do like
Princess
Celestia in this episode. She's been given the best job. Cake. She likes her cake, which is one thing. Did they do that on purpose, or is that just sheer? Is that fan pandering or not fan pandering? I have to. Or just
I think it might be fan pandering.
Yeah. I can't even say the dang word. It's
Fan pandering.
that, and yeah, I think they did that on purpose.
Yeah, because I do feel like if this show's just going to be fan pandering, is it going to be? I hope it's not just fan pandering. Also, I also find it interesting that this show is dedicating itself to have an arc, because this episode starts an arc for the entire series where Pinkie Pie is going to be going through the competitions and continuously trying to make sure she wins, because it actually doesn't end here. It actually gets talked about in the second episode. Actually, she's still competing in the show in the second episode, which is really interesting, and it'll be interesting to see how they take that and how they're going to evolve that story throughout the show. I did not expect to go into ponylife and go, oh, there's an arc. Wait, what? Like, did you guys realise that, or is that?
I don't know. I was watching it during the stream because I'm totally prepared.
Momo is never prepared. She's just here to talk shit and just say whatever she likes.
Back at it again with the white fans.
Oh, are we gonna talk about Best of the Worst now then?
I hate it.
Oh God, yep.
I kind of like it.
Let's talk about the best of the worst, and then we'll do an overall review at the end. Yeah, let's talk about the best of the worst. Who wants to start with the lesser of two, the evil episode? I think a lot of people know. I don't think there's many people who like this episode.
What is the name of this random slob pony?
I, for the life of me, can't remember his name. Is that not?
I think it was backwash
seawater or something dumb like that.
Backwash seawater.
Yeah, backwash.
That's actually disgusting.
That's the entire joke of his character, and it just doesn't work.
Disgusting.
He is meant to be disgusting. It just doesn't work. Because the issue... I'll start with this one. Yeah, I just don't like the character because Rainbow Dash has no reason to get in an argument with him. It just seems like... It seems so forced. Like, oh, you say this... You challenge me to a contest and I don't even know who you are? Game on! Even though I don't really care about you and you seem like a jerk. And, oh look, you're a jerk at the end. Like,
Oh, Dishwater Slog is the name of the pony.
Dishwater.
yeah, he's just one of those characters like, you know, He's meant to be disgusting for disgusting's sake, but that just never works for my. I just don't like that style of comedy where you're just doing disgusting for disgusting's sake has to have a reaction. You have to have someone react to it, but because the characters don't really react to his disgusting nature to the end, it just doesn't work. The joke just doesn't land because we're meant to be be reacting, and it comes off as disgusting, which is what it's meant to be, but it's not as funny. If that makes sense. You can make things disgusting and funny. It's just it needs to either A, hurt someone in a sense, or B, have a reaction. But because these characters don't really have much of a reaction to him and don't treat him much differently to any other character, it just comes off as him being disgusting for the sake of being disgusting. What's your thoughts, director?
The disgusting of this whole episode. And also for the disgusting one, I call him Mr. Typical homeless stranger.
Yeah.
Yep.
And as for his character, he has none.
Yeah, pretty much.
Literally, he has no character. I'm like, what's the point of him? Why are we having him here? It's just a little pointless. Although I can relate to Rainbow Dash of saying she never backs down for a challenge. That I can relate to. But beside that, I didn't find the episode intriguing or good.
I just find Rainbow Dash. I can relate to it, but just because I can relate to it doesn't make it interesting. Like, never back down to a challenge? Yeah, but sometimes you should, because these people. Why should you take a challenge from someone who's clearly not even in your best interests? Like, he's just a jerk. Not even an interesting jerk. He's just a jerk. You can make jerks interesting or fun to watch, but he's not even that. He's just a boring jerk. He's just
the jerk with no personality at all.
Yeah, you need to give him a bit of personality or a bit of nuance.
So you then, Patrick.
Oof.
Love you.
No, he needed to be a bit. He needed to be more of a jerk. Is the weird thing. It's like he's not big enough of a jerk. He's just all the things he does is just a bit not mean enough until the end, which I don't mind if they're going for the story-esque artness of it. But here's the thing: we've already had this episode before. This is just gripping the brush off, but done worse. It's the exact same idea of character comes in, and characters realise they're not as good as they thought they would be. But at least with that, Gilda was at least a likable, had some understanding to why she did all the things she did. And at least she was built up to like Rainbow Dash and to understand why you could understand why she might not like Pinkie Pie. And then when she goes 2 steps too far, you can sort of relate to it. And then when they finally go back to it, it's really interesting to see how she's changed. Do you have any thoughts on this episode's Bloom?
I really wish that they would have actually had better characterization for Dishwater, because
would that even save anything? I just don't think there's
actually, yeah, it would. There needs to be more backstory behind like why he chose to be the worst. And also, seriously, how can you be so weak that you literally can't even pick up a can? Yet a tiny 0.23 mile per hour wind can knock down a can. That's empty.
It's meant to emphasize he's not actually trying. He's purposely being weak. He's purposely doing all these things to show he's bad, but when he actually isn't as bad as he makes himself be, he's just being a jerk. He's just over.
Plus, the other thing that I really don't like about the guy is the fact that he tripped a foal. That's not being the worst. That's just being heinous.
Yeah, I do agree.
Also, that foal is goddamn adorable.
Yeah,
Plus, here's what actually happens technically. Here's a phrase that people forget about. Monkey see, monkey do, monkey made a fool of you.
I don't get
I
why.
remember the monkey
If
see,
a
monkey
kid
do.
watches that and they see dishwater trip a bowl, they're gonna think, "Oh, it's okay to trip a baby," and then they're like, "There's a baby causing a baby to get hurt." You don't do that.
I disagree because he's clearly a character no one's gonna empathise with, and no one's gonna try.
You'd be surprised, Roberi.
True.
You know, speaking of that little cult, he's a little cult, by the way. I actually felt sorry for him in the first part of the episode when he came up and he was cheering for Rainbow Dash and everything, and Rainbow Dash was had that very heavy trophy on her back, and she was like, "I don't do it for the trophy, I do it for the fans," and then she threw it on that little colt. And when I first saw that, the first thing that went in my mind was like, "Oh no, nameless colt." And then he said something, and I was like, "Oh, I guess he's," which makes me feel bad for saying that.
It's the cartoon rubber band effect. Like it would have worked if the cult had pain, but they don't have a backbone, so they couldn't do that. If the cult felt the pain, it would have been funny, because physical comedy works. Like, you can hurt kid characters and it'd be funny. Like, you could drop an anvil onto Tom or Jerry and it's funny, because they feel...
Yes.
It's not because of the anvil hitting them, it's their reaction to the anvil hitting them that makes it funny. But because there is no reaction, and because he doesn't feel a thing, and we just can't, there is no joke there. It feels empty, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And Discord decided to be a pinche pendejo to me.
That's Discord. What do you expect?
Mm-hmm.
You seem to agree with me,
Yeah,
Director. What else? Do you have anything else to say about this episode? Because it's pretty trash.
From the brush off, but really not funny. I would just rather kind of skip this episode.
Should we give scores for each episode? I'm going to start with Princess Problem.
There is one more thing I wanted to mention again.
Oh yeah.
Go on.
Again, I love Applejack's fourth wall breaking.
Well, what did she do in this episode?
That's
Really,
about as worse she's been since she forgot to finish on the book outline her. Or
She
like,
broke the fourth wall.
yes, sir, return my book! Whoa, got real there for a second.
Oh yeah, I also forget. Fluttershy just changes size and goes, "I'm really cute," and I'm like, "Okay, that's interesting, but you're not." And I didn't find it funny, but I just found it weird. Like, they could have made it funny if they did something, like if they explained that Fluttershy was cute, but I knew that she was cute, but it just felt a bit meh.
Hold on, I am pulling up the quotes.
I still can't get over that part where Fluttershy was trying to get Rainbow Dash to give her a hug.
Nah, I'm good. Rejection. Nice.
Yeah,
She's like, rejection. Nice.
it
And then
just
she
seems
flew
a bit.
away.
It just seems like, as someone said, it just seems a bit like it's Fluttershy but watered down. I'm Fluttershy, but not what. It's like every character's a little bit watered down. I understand why they've done that, but it just seems like this is watered down MLP. Like, it's got the comedy there, but not as funny as normal MLP. It's got the morals there, but not as challenging as MLP. It's got the story there, but not as interesting. It just seems everything's watered down, if that makes sense.
I do have the line. The line was, "Cute Fluttershy." Nah, I'm good. Rejection. Nice.
Should we go with scores and then we go for our overviews of the show itself at the moment?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to score Princess Problems a solid 55 out of 100. It's fine. It does its job. It's nothing out. it's nothing amazing. If you're gonna watch if you're gonna watch anything Pony Life, this is probably the best so far. However, at the moment, Pony Life is seeming to be just decent, nothing amazing. And then for the best of the worst, wow, this is a really bad episode. Let's
first start with Princess Problems so I can find out the mean score.
Okay, I'm scoring it 55 out of 100, so that's 5.5 out of 10. Starry?
I'm just finding the mean score.
Out of 10, Princess Problems.
I'm going to give it an 80 out of 10. 80 out of 100.
So,
I absolutely loved the episode. I couldn't stop laughing. Especially with the whole thing with Rarity poofing a painting couch.
Momo, have you got a score or have you still not got through it yet?
Princess Problems? I'd say a good 5. 5's a decent one for me.
Crosser?
Oh, no, 50! 50! Sorry, 50 out of 100, sorry. I'm getting them mixed up now.
Director?
This one, I honestly gotta give it a 6.7 out of 10.
And yourself, Blue?
For me, I get about an 81. For Princess Problems. Now that we had that, take total divided by the number of items, the average score rounds out to the devil number.
6?
666.
Hell yeah. What up, Satan?
We did do that. Yeah, it's the devil's number, 666, technically. Well, not really.
What up,
Yeah,
Satan, my broski?
Add up all the numbers in the data set, divide it total by the number of items.
Yeah.
The answer is the mean or average.
So we got 666 as the average score for Princess Problems. Why does
Yep.
that? Why does that
Alphabet
just?
of the worst.
You know what that score alone does sum up 2020 in a nutshell. Somehow getting
It really does.
And now, the best of the worst. Director, you go first with scoring this one.
Okay, for this one, I say to give it 4.
Oof. Starry?
Let me see. I give it a 6 out of 10. Only because some of the parts in the episode made me laugh too. So I got a wicked sense of humor.
Blue?
I'm gonna decidedly give it a 32
I'm giving
out
it
of 100.
I'm giving it a 33, which is one higher than you. You might as well just round them down to both to be 3, and then we can...
Wait. You said out of 100, right?
Well, out of 10 makes it easy.
I'm doing it out of 100.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think
Lastly,
it's out of 100.
Mamamoo.
20 out of 100, my broski. Mostly for a terrible character.
Alright, and now add up all the numbers in the data set, which we have 185 out of 100, divided by the total number of items. The average score for best of the worst is 37 out of 100.
Wow, that's...
Damn.
Yeah,
Get Shrek'd.
Yeah, it's not very good. But, Starry, what's your overall opinion on Pony Life so far? I see that you've got your own Pony Life vector save at the moment. And I heard that you've been making Pony Life vectors for people?
Oh no, this is the only one that I made, and honestly, when I talked to Zolden about it, he was thinking about doing the Pony Life vectors, but he hasn't gotten back to me on it. But I actually am thinking about doing Pony Life vectors for people, but I'm not really sure. I hope you have a little. Yeah, I wouldn't really mind if somebody asked me. During around this time of the day, I pretty much have nothing else to do.
Thanks, quarantine.
Yeah, unless my mother has been doing something. Which, speaking of, if you hear any tapping sounds from the background of my end, that's my mom tapping something.
Is she murdering someone? If so, good luck.
Honestly, she probably she's not, but
I sent you a request.
But like I said, if I ever do decide to do Pony Life Vectors, I'm only doing it on request. I'm not doing any commissions on it or anything like that. I won't do that.
No worries. But director, what's your overall opinion on Pony Life so far at the moment? I don't think.
Honestly, although it is really hyperactive, I will admit it's also a little bit boring. Some things made me laugh, but most of the time it just left me blank, honestly.
Yeah, I could understand that. My biggest problem is actually I'm going to go into this now actually because I think it's the best time to talk about this. So
Wait. Hold on. Was there more director wanted to add before Patrick goes off on one?
have you got anything else to add, director?
Okay. Wait. No, I didn't want to add on. You can continue.
Okay.
Had to make sure, my dude.
Fairness. So, my biggest problem with Pony Life is how Hasbro has been dealing with it. They've handled Pony Life a bit sloppily. The advertisement was all over the place. We've got like, and I think everyone can admit this, like, no one knew what Pony Life was going to look like because we had like 3 versions of Pony Life we were expecting because we had the advert, the one image slot, and then an unused vector that we never. It's like the advert that got taken down because the song used the word "hal." I kid you.
Lizzo.
Yep.
Song. Baby, how you feeling? Feeling good.
And it featured.
That generation was weird.
Yeah, it featured some interesting animation to say the least. It featured Fluttershy going a bit wacky and Pinkie Pie going a bit dumb.
And Rarity going all in with a sexy.
Yeah, which I'm kind of glad they've kind of gone to this style and they've not gone to the advert because God, that advert was horrible. And then we've just heard nothing about Pony Life. So it's been really quiet. Like this was meant to drop last week, and then we was like, are we going to talk about it last week? But then nothing got said. Then YouTube just farted out some videos about each character except Applejack, proving that she's still a background pony. I kid you not. They did every single character but Applejack. That is generally, and now they've been even more sloppy by doing highlight reels of each character, they have accidentally leaked episode stuff that hasn't even aired. It's like highlights to a show you haven't watched yet that is showing stuff you haven't seen yet. It's like, what on earth are you doing, Hasbro? It's just seems a bit.
Well, have you seen the Japanese dub of MLP?
I'm guessing
In the OP.
Okay.
Hold on. Allow me to send this in our our voice chat channel.
I'm guessing this is not the first time Hasbro has handled a show before.
Even though technically Hasbro wasn't when they made the show originally. Yes, they made the show originally, but the Japanese company that did the OP for it in Japan. Let's just say.
Oh no, Blue.
Yeah.
No. Are you sure? The UK releases of MLP are very special. They're absolutely bloody. We've got Dr. Wolf for no real reason on the Question Kills DVD. That's not even a joke.
Go ahead and look in text-to-speech.
Yeah, I remember Dr. Wolf was on the TV. Right.
I can't show that, but yes, I know that. Yes, the original. I know what you're on about because the original Japanese theme song showed clips of what was going to happen. That's a very Japanese style thing.
Well, actually, technically, that's the second OP. That's Japan opening 2 called Magical Dai 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 Boken, or Magical Big 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 Adventure.
But I'm
Hey, also, can we get Spike on the show, please? I want to see where this goes.
He's probably going to be coming up in the next couple of episodes.
Yeah, there's going
I
to be
wouldn't be
episodes
surprised
every
if it would be
Sunday.
more one.
What we're hoping.
Time may tell.
Time may tell. I'm trying to find the image of there's a really bad season 3 DVD that got released for a very short while, and it shows Alec and Twilight. It shows everything from season 4, but it has 2 Twilights on it. I kid you not, it has 2 Twilights on it. It is the dumbest thing you've ever seen. It's like Twilight looking at the background going, ooh. It is so dumb. I can't find it, but it's somewhere.
Beyond the sea.
But yeah, Hasbro, because MLP's own, it's got different distribution rights, and yeah, it's weird.
Let them make money. Hush your guns.
But I don't think the show's bad, but I am gonna keep on trotting with it and see what happens with it. I do agree with the director. What the director said is it is a bit boring. I'm kind of glad it is a bit funny, but other than that, it's a bit stale. What do you Yeah, I just think they've just not handled this show very well so far. I think it in itself, if it didn't have all the drama and MLP tied to it, I probably would not even give it a second look. It's one of those meh shows. It's just something that you put on in the background and not even realise you've put it on by accident.
It's a beach episode, but for MLP.
Yeah, I kind of see that. What's your thoughts on the show Blue Prism?
And the show so far is turning out fairly decent, but I just wish they would learn how the characterization needs to really work. Otherwise, the show is going to become...
Well, the thing is, they've only got 11 minutes per episode. It's like not a lot of time when you think about it, compared to like...
Yeah, but still... Like, the pacing could be done like Princess Probs Part 1 and 2 did a really good job with it.
True. Hopefully we get more Princess Problems and less the best of the worst. But my worry is we're going to get more of the worst. But, which is kind of ironic in itself. Does anyone else have any final opinions?
It's absolutely adorable, and it's
It is
perfect for a child demographic.
Yes.
Adorable and hysterical, yet boring at the same time. That's all I gotta say.
Child demographic, basically. They don't care, they will just watch it.
True. But generally deserve better.
It's not really until you're older is when you start to think, huh,
True, but
that could have been done better.
But MLP still G4 was still for kids, and it had characterization, it had stuff, and kids loved it.
And so did grown men and women.
Starry, do you have any last opinions before we end off?
The only thing I can tell y'all is that, like I said before, it's cute, it's funny. I'm looking forward to to more episodes on it. I even heard that there was I even seen some other scenes that hasn't came out yet with Fluttershy and Rarity, and it actually is going to be promising. It's going to be even more funnier than it actually is.
Very shy.
Well, I can confirm this to now. We are going to be doing this as a weekly thing, but it's going to go on for every Friday for the next few weeks. We are going to be talking about every 2 episodes. We will do the 2 episodes that have aired on the last Sunday prior. Are you all good for that?
I'm good with that.
And
I'll think about it.
We might be
Me,
getting
it
to,
actually depends on because when it comes to my home, helping my mother out because
you don't have to come to every single one. You could just have to come to a few of them. We'll get special guests and other people on as well, so don't worry too much.
I know. I really want to join. It's just my household is very unpredictable.
True. But does everyone want to say bye in their own little way?
Shall I do my usual outro?
Well, let's say, director, do you want to say bye? How do people follow your channel, director?
How do they say bye on my channel? I don't have one for my OC yet, but for my regular channel, I'll have, like I said, that's it. Thank you guys for watching and forevermore. I'm just gonna make this up, but we are the Rip City, and we're out, y'all. Peace.
And what about you, Momo? How are you gonna end?
Please save me. He has me locked up, I'm telling you.
I can't let you go because we need to repopulate the earth. You know.
Please. Anyway, I've been the idiot of the group. I hope you enjoyed. I love you all. Oh, my battery's dying. 1 sec.
Starry, how do you want to say the ending?
Well, I don't have no outro myself, but let me make up one on the fly. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Feel free to stop by my this is so freaking hard. Feel free to stop by my my Twitter, Discord, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. I got nothing on YouTube yet, but in the future I will.
And what about, everyone should follow all these people. They're talented, unlike myself.
You should really put us in the description, Patrick, if you're bothered.
I should have done that beforehand.
that sigh. Y'all heard that, right?
In all fairness, I don't know who's going to come to these streams until they.
Now. I mean, after this is done, my dude.
I will do that. I need sleep first.
You're lazy.
I have work in the morning.
I'm joking, child.
I know.
Blue, your turn. You precious child. I love you, Blue.
Well, everyone, this has been Pony Life, Princess Problems, with a Z for no real reason. And the best and the worst. Well, it was the worst, I guess, and it was very bad. And I've been Patrick Webby. This has been Starry Melody, Momo, and...
What about Blue?
Blue Prism, and...
I was about to do my thing!
I'm gonna let you do it afterwards! I'm going to let you do it! Come on! Blue, do your thing.
You finish your statement first, then I'll do it.
But yes, there's been also the director and Blue Prism, and make sure you subscribe to everyone, even though there's nobody watching. Blue, say your outro.
Thank you for watching the following video. If you enjoyed the content you saw, be sure to smash that like and subscribe button, and don't forget the notification bell. Susan, please break the blue! Get a ping every time we upload a video or go live. You can also find us located on Twitter and our DNR page. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!
Bye, everyone say bye.
We are legit.
Reminder where that means Grammarly.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Big crackhead energies.